What was I saying? Oh yeah, the other part. Lean into like YouTube and learn it. YouTube is owned by Google, and I think the biggest thing on Google is search engine optimization. Like they're the best search engine in the
Yep.
world. So those same concepts that websites apply to Google, you have to kind of apply to your video. So I always try to, I mean, I haven't been great about this lately, but go into every video with like, there has to be an underlying theme or a keyword that I can use throughout. And that keyword has to show up in my title, it has to show up in my descriptions, my tags, and I have to say it several times in the beginning of my video. So I know a lot of like, even my intro, if you look at my intros, like they all say the same thing. Like I'm doing Second Life things today. Like I'm very big on making sure like Second Life is prevalent if I want to show up in those search results. Cause like all of that matters in a way that I didn't realize until like I started looking at analytics and seeing it. And that's another thing, like study your analytics, see what works well, what people respond to, where your traffic is coming from. And I use a lot of like tools like TubeBuddy
Mm-hmm.
to see where I rank in comparison to other channels that are like mine when it comes to certain keywords. So like if I were to do a blanket search for Second Life, for example, and if I'm not even going to compete with what's already there, then that's when I know I have to add more to it. So Second Life's not going to work for me. Maybe Second Life shopping is like things that people are searching. So having those type of tools really helps because you know what people are looking for and you can kind of tweak some of your content to cater to that so you start showing up.
That is super useful. Okay, cool. Okay, so tell me a little bit, like, it's so interesting because you're obviously like really into this, right? And this is why I wanted to talk to you because I was like, she knows a lot about what she's doing here. So, okay, so tell me a little bit about like how you put your videos together. For example, one of my favorites that I've seen you do is you interviewed the guy that makes hair at Doe. Is it Doe?
Mhm.
Doe?
Yep.
And your promo video for that one was like it was so perfect because I remember you asked like a bunch of really great questions and then the last one was like how do you say it, you know? And
Mhm.
everybody was like, "Yes, how do you say it?" And so you got people that like signed up to watch it ahead of time and like wanted alerts for it and everything. It was so awesome.
How do you officially say the name of your store?
Officially, it's wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some.
So tell me a little bit about how like tell me what that process looks like from like we know how you get ideas,
Mhm.
right? You use TubeBuddy and stuff, but talk to me like after that, beginning to end, how does it work?
Yeah, I think, I mean, even for getting ideas, I always just start with whatever I'm curious about.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, this is a hair creator that I have been using in Second Life forever. And he's also someone, so this is the other point, like I try to get, when I do interviews like that, I'm very interested in seeing who people are in real life, which is so weird because I've been so like anti-showing who I am in real life my entire Second Life. I think when I got really comfortable on YouTube, I got to this point where I was just like, I feel like there are so many stereotypes about who we are in Second Life
Right.
that I want to be able to like be one representation of like how diverse our community is. And David, he was someone who had always been very open with who he was in real life. He shared pictures, he shared his Instagram all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just curious about him. And that's where like that's what sparked me wanting to interview him. But it's also like I didn't even plan a script. I didn't write questions in advance. I was just like, what would I want to ask this person? And what do I know other people may want to? And that was the first. Like everyone I've ever met in Second Life has said the name of that story differently. So I was like, first I got to ask him that. And I was like, I think that's going to be the one thing everyone's curious about collectively.
That's right.
Um, so that's always what I try. I was like, if there's something I know everyone wants to know, like I remember, I think I even did an interview about like blogging. And I think there was just like one question, like, do people get paid for this? And I think that was like my starter. So kind of go with what the biggest curiosity around whatever it is that you're talking about is and tease it. So like, I'll show that I asked, but I'm going to cut off the answer. So you kind of have to wait. And I think even in the actual video, I previewed it in the beginning
You
of
did.
before the title screen. And then you still had to wait like 5 minutes or so
So
before we even got
mean.
to that.
Yep, yep, yep.
So I don't do many videos that I edit. I stream mostly, but that's kind of one of the things that I'm looking into. Like, how do you keep people engaged in your content? And I think that's the one thing. Like, you have to kind of tease them with what you're going to be talking about, make it very clear what you're going to be talking about, and then kind of transition into that throughout the video.
We're flying.
I know. I
This
was
has
like,
been
are we
like
tweaking out or is this me?
this is like the weirdest pod ride. Like this is never. It seems like we're actually supposed to be flying.
I think
We're
so.
now going to
It
hop
just
over
took
the
off.
sea from here. Oh yeah, okay. This is intentional, and I won't freak out.
That's funny. I've never
Um,
seen a pod do this.
so okay, so you stream, and then you said I remember you said you did other stuff in Second Life before you started your YouTube channel. So like, I know that you have an RP community that kind of like
Mhm.
bounces back and forth between Second Life, but then it also goes into another game, right?
I started streaming on Twitch. Unfortunately, Second Life is banned on Twitch.
I
So when I just
know.
had this interest, and Twitch is so fun to stream on. So like I was like, I know I have to be there, but I'm gonna have to figure out different content. And I started looking into GTA because that's the only other content that I'd watched that kind of felt like Second Life roleplay. Like it felt very similar.
Hmm.
So I started streaming just normal GTA, the game at first to figure out how it worked and to learn it. And then I got into GTA roleplay, which is where you join different servers, which is very much like Second Life Regions or Second Life roleplay community. The server that I joined, I actually ended up buying from the owner,
Cool.
and we kind of maintained it for a while, but then I noticed like the community was just so different than what I experienced in Second Life. And it was so like that was a brand that had been built and it was something that I couldn't necessarily kind of bring the vibe that I wanted into it. So we
Hmm.
decided to close that server and I'm opening one called Bayside, which is the name of my sim and world. And even the owner from that city is like coming on to admin. So like we're making this very big effort to just have this community that feels very much like home. And when I say home, like very much like Second Life. But there are things that are just better in GTA for role play, and there are things that are kind of better in SL for role play. So I wanted an opportunity because I myself was bouncing back and forth so much. I was like, I just wish there was a way, like if I committed a crime in Grand Theft Auto, that I could possibly be arrested in Second Life, or, you know, if I go and rob the bank in Second Life, that I could have a warrant out for my arrest in GTA. Like I wanted this connection between the two of them. And that's really what we're achieving. And we're, you know, modifying the GTA base to kind of mirror what we have in Second Life, like our medical facilities, the
Hmm.
jail. You know, we have a mall over there now because we have the mall in Second Life. I'm building a university on the GTA side. So we're building a university in Bayside right now. So we just want as many opportunities as possible for people to have just the same experience. So they could choose GTA or SL and have the same experience. But if they also want to hop back and forth between both, like what if I wanted to start hanging out with my friends in Second Life and say, hey, I want to go on a road trip.
Hmm.
Road trips are better in GTA. Like as much as I love them here, it's way
Yeah.
better in GTA because it's a huge map. So I could always just like collect my friends and just hop into GTA really quickly and just finish whatever my scene was.
Have you had a lot of interest? Like, do you think it's going to do well?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think, you know, Bayside's had so much interest over the years and we've never officially launched a formal role play. We've just kind of had the city and people kind of come and do whatever they want. And, you know, Bayside's been really great and it's always kind of been at capacity and people rent here and live here and have businesses here. And, you know, I just announced this maybe like a week or so ago. And, you know, I have a brand new Discord for the role play. And like we're, I think, just at 100 members that have
Hmm.
joined who are just specifically interested in role play. So I think, you know, from a starting point, seeing how our GTA server can only hold 64 at a time, I think, you know, it'll be a good number to start with. Currently, it's across 3 sims. We're building the 4th one now.
Wow.
And that comprises just mostly residential areas. There's some like businesses, like restaurants and things are big for us. We also have my club there, so the Monarchy, and then we have
Hmm.
a mall. So just a lot of stuff packed into 3 regions.
You are a busy lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I would
cool.
encourage
Okay.
anyone who likes role play to at least come check it out. I think what I try to do, especially with my Second Life communities, is leave things as flexible as possible. Like I don't put very many rules when it comes to like what you can and can not do with your characters and stuff. So, you know, hopefully we attract a lot of different crowds in terms of, you know, what people want to do. Like even in GTA, like there's so many different ways to go about your role play. You could just be a citizen, you could do family role play, you could decide to be a criminal. Like I think there's even like Bayside does have a little bit of a supernatural element. So it's just like you get to choose your own path.
Hmm.
So yeah, hopefully we have enough role play up by the time this comes out and people can really check it out and
Well,
see
I'll
what's
have to
going
go.
on. And we're trying to we're trying to do a lot for content creators because I've noticed that's just a big thing in GTA. I think more than Second Life, like there seems to be so much support for streamers on the GTA side. And ultimately you grow a lot faster. Like, you know, I started on Twitch And I think like so far I've had very few Twitch streams when I think about just my time there. And I was very quickly able to get to like 1,500 or something
Wow.
followers. And then of course subscribers, which are, your paid subscriptions, unlike YouTube where it's kind of free until you get to memberships. Like people are paying to support your content on Twitch, which is very different. So we're going into this very big on supporting content creators. Like the website that I'm currently building, we have a whole section for, who our Bayside content creators are, whether they're in Second Life or GTA, and just giving space for them to just represent themselves and be promoted. And it's something that's very heavy in the Discord.
Discord
So I
is
think
such
that'll
an
be it.
Discord's so important for role-playing communities.
Yeah,
I don't even think
Discord's
the
huge.
Linden Lab employees realize like how important Discord is. So important. I mean, everybody I know is in Discord. Nobody even
Yeah,
talks in
I would
SO
even
voice.
attribute, I never use SO
Yeah,
voice,
no,
but I'd attribute a lot of my growth to my Discord server too. Like, my Discord server has like 2,000 members,
wow.
and it started off as a resource for people to help each other. Because I know very early on I was doing tutorials, and I'm always very quick to comment to questions that I receive like on YouTube. But when it comes to DMs or IMs and people wanting me personally, I'm very closed off that way. Like I just don't have the bandwidth at the time to try to help anyone personally. So I created Discord as a space where people could help each other. And that's where it kind of started to take off. But again, that's of course now a great way for me to hop in sometimes, chat with my community, create spaces for them for, different shared interests, and of course promote my own content, promote their content. And it just creates this big like
circle,
supportive bubble.
A supportive
And
bubble.
it really helps with your personal growth. I think, I don't know if I would have grown as fast without Discord. And if anyone's kind of starting a channel, I think that's important. When I see these Twitch groups or communities where, so I'm in a lot of those too. I don't know if people join those, but I'm in a lot of like Facebook groups for content creators. A lot of them talk about their Discord server, but I don't think I've ever seen a creator say anything who doesn't have their own Discord server. So I think it's so important as a content creator to have one and to be able to create, a community that you can very easily connect with. So Discord's huge.
So this has been so informative. I really, really appreciate you like doing this and coming on. If I could, okay, so last question. So if I could convince some other Second Life business or creator or somebody else that you would like to learn something from, who would it be? And I will go after them next. You were a target from somebody, so I have to go after somebody else. Do you have anybody? Strawberry Singh said Boston Blainsdale one time.
Oh yeah, Boston's been awesome.
Yeah.
In terms of like YouTubers or content creators,
or a store. Like, do you have a store that you'd love to learn? Like, how do they do what they do, or anything like that?
I think maybe like an event owner. I've been noticing just like a lot of Second Life events popping up, and I can't even, just working so closely, I think with Access and Equal10 right now, I'm seeing how much work goes into making these things happen every month. So I would love possibly to hear from either of those owners. I know I work closely with both of them. So Mia I think it's Mia. God, I don't even know her in-world name. I want to say it's Mia because I'm used to calling her real life name, and I don't want to out that, but she does Equal10.
Cool. I'll reach out
to her. So that would
be
a really cool one. Yeah. Or even, the Access owner who now has like, she would be interesting, but because she's just launched a men's event and a Valentine's Day event. So the Access owner would be cool too. Both of them are amazing business people though.
Well, I thank you for coming on, even though everything was, kind of weird, but like, I really, really appreciate it. I think that people are going to learn a lot from the stuff that you've had to say.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me.